from Megaplex. I am Wolfy, as you can clearly see, and this is my best attempt at doing mentalism magic for all of you at home. Now, there is a distinct difference between magic and mentalism, and a lot of mentalism has more to do with psychology than magic does have to do with cards or coins or pens or anything like that. And what adds a challenge is the fact that this is through online and you are not here with me physically. So it's not like I can even read something that you've written down because we're not even next to each other. So a lot of this show will be purely about psychology. And if you would like to participate, there will be a Zoom link in the chat, as you can see, and we may not be able to get to everybody that wants to participate since we are on a time frame, but I have planned about 10, 11 people that I'm going to be needing. And for one group, you are going to need a deck of cards, so if you have those handy, perfect. If not, you don't need them. As I was saying with psychology, there are things known as psychological forces that happen in everyday life that you may not even realize happen. A lot of times you will be driving about your day and you'll have this one theme song stuck in your head. That is a psychological thing because it was meant to be catchy. It was meant to get stuck in your head, and you may never need, hopefully you will never need to dial 411 pain, but because of the catchy songs that they put on there every so often, that will not get out of my head. So that's what I'm dealing with. A few examples of these psych forces, if you would like to participate without joining in, is I actually want you to clear your mind of any thought right now and just imagine a blank screen, like a movie screen happening in front of you. Now, on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, think of the first number that pops into your mind and don't change it. Now, if all this goes right, a lot of you will be thinking of the number 7. Now, that's what your number is. That's really amazing, but that's nothing to be afraid of because of the fact that it just means that it's easy to psychologically force you. But now that you're aware of it, odds are if I'm to try it again, it's not going to work. But the thing is, if you didn't go to 7, a lot of times people will go for 3 instead. So maybe you went for that one. But the entire point behind that is the fact that I said pick a number between 1 and 7. Or sorry, 1 and 10, apologies. So that psychologically forces you to choose from the number 2 all the way up to the number 9. Now, of course, you wouldn't go for 5 because that's too obvious. You'd go right into the middle. So you would try to psych me out by moving out. I have done this a lot of times, and I've gotten a lot of people who say either 4 or 6. So if you thought of that, that's perfect too. Another thing, if you would like to participate, would be a blank. So think of a blank screen, and in a moment, I'm going to just clap my hand. And when I do, I want you to imagine, not yet, but when I do, I want you to imagine the first thing you see when you look out your window. Okay, you ready? There. So there's one thing. And in fact, we're actually going to do it a second time. So I want you to clear the screen again. We're going to do this a second time. Now, I don't want you to think of the same thing. And I'm actually thinking of something in particular. So I'm going to try to send that thought to you as long as the first one. And hopefully you can get them. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, that's all right. We'll move on. So ready for the second thing? Right? There. Now, there are only 2 different thoughts that I was thinking of when looking outside my window, and the first one would be a tree. The second one would be a car. Now, if you got one of those, that's good. And if you actually got both of those, that's really amazing, and I highly suggest that you participate along with us. And hopefully you'd have a lot of fun joining us up here. So, that's about it for the psychological forces. There's actually one more thing that I'm going to do and for you to participate with. And what I want you to do is I want you to hold out your left hand, because a lot of you are right-handed and I am left-handed. So you hold out your left hand, I am holding out my right hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your index finger of your opposite hand, my left, your probable right, and you place it onto the pinky. And this is just going to be a fun little game that we're going to do. Now, what this game entails, it's a nice thing that I'd like to call the 5-3-1 theory. I'm not exactly sure why. I have to look it up a little bit. I kind of forgot about it, but it's a very interesting scenario. Now, there are rules of this game, and there are some restrictions. The rules are you're going to move from finger to finger. Now, you cannot skip over fingers. So if you start here, you can't skip to your middle finger or go from your ring finger to your thumb. You can't do that. You can't skip over fingers. You have to move one finger at a time. And your hand does not loop back. So if you get to your thumb, you cannot move to your pinky. So I'm going to bring my hand off the screen, and hopefully we're going to be able to do this. So with your finger on your pinky finger, I want you to move your index finger 5 times. So first you're going to move off the pinky and move it 4 more times. So I'll allow you a second to do that. And whenever you do, perfect. And if I'm wrong, forgive me, but I have a feeling that you do not have your finger on your thumb or your pinky. So I want you to lower those. So now you only have your 3 fingers with your index finger on one of them. And we're going to do this again, but this time we're only going to do it 3 times. So whichever finger you're on, you're going to move once, twice, and then a 3rd time. Now I'll allow you to do that for just a moment. And if I'm getting this right, you're not on your index finger either. So you can lower those down. So now you should only be left with 2 fingers, and we're going to do one last move. So if you have your index finger on your middle finger, you can move it to you're going to move it to your ring finger, and if you have it on your ring finger, you're going to move it to your middle finger. All right? So now that everybody has joined onto one finger, lower your middle finger, because I don't think it's on that one either. Now, how impressive would it be that if out of everybody watching this, everybody stopped on their ring finger? The very interesting thing about psychology, and what I'm actually going to do is, if we have any participants yet, hopefully we do.
Hey, Wolfy, this is Kitch. We are just waiting on a couple of folks to come and join in, and then we will send them in to you.
All right, cool. Actually have a few things that I have planned. So, as soon as we get started. Make a little prediction here. And a little fun fact about myself is the fact that I actually enjoy psychology very much. I have taken a few psychology classes and I've enjoyed them a lot. I've studied up on different ways of doing hypnosis. I have learned several ways on why the body thinks and how some people do. And it's a very interesting thing to come across. And during this bit of downtime, I'm going to give a little bit more detail about myself. I am actually a 20-year-old fur, and I have been in this fandom for quite a few years. This has never been anything quiet about myself. I actually got my first tail from a Renfest. and I have legitimately been wearing it out wherever I go, which does in fact get me a few stares, but I don't let people control me. So that was about maybe 4 years ago. You don't you don't necessarily have to be on camera. Just the mic is fine. Excuse me as I clear my throat for a moment. Hopefully that's a lot better. What else can I share about myself? I feel like I hear something, but I'd like to say that I could just continue on without people, but unfortunately, I cannot.
I could be your first participant.
Yeah, that could work out very well. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Now, the first thing that I'm going to want you to do is I want you to think of a 2-digit number for me, any 2-digit number.
Got it.
Now, I want you to take each individual number and add them together. Like, for example, if you chose 11, it would be 1 and 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Okay.
And now, do you have a 1-digit number or a 2-digit number in your mind now?
I have a 1-digit number.
Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply it by, let's go with 9. So multiply that number by 9.
Okay.
And do you have a 2-digit or a 3-digit number?
I now have a 2-digit number.
Okay, just like the first time, take 2 of the digits and add them together.
Okay. Got it.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a form of lying and truth-telling game. Now, the way that this works is that you are going to choose to either be a liar or you're going to choose to be a truth teller. And I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And you are going to either lie through all 3 of them or you're going to tell the truth through all 3 of them. And that's up to you.
Okay, I got you.
Now, before we start this, I want to see if I can try to get a form of tell just from your voice. So I'm going to ask you, and these questions are just going to be yes or no questions. So I want you to take a minute, even if you're telling the truth, take a minute throughout the questions or take a few seconds so that I don't think that I don't make a presumption, because if I ask you something and you have one over the other and you're telling the truth, you would immediately say yes. But if you're lying, it may take you a second to be like, no. So just allow yourself that second. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. And the first question, I want you to tell the truth. And the second question, I want you to lie. And I want you to take a second before you answer, all right?
Okay.
You prefer summer over winter?
Yes.
Okay. So you're a summer person. Perfect. You prefer fall over spring?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think I have it. Now, did you make a decision between whether you want to be a truth teller or a liar? I don't want you to say it, but just have you made a decision?
I did make a decision.
Okay. So the first question is going to be, actually, no, let's make this a little interesting. Let's actually make we're going to make a bit more of a game out of it. I want you to pretend you have a coin, or if you have a coin nearby, you can take a coin or even a ring if you so desire. And I want you to put it in one of your hands.
Okay.
All right. Now, since you don't have video on, I can't even see whether or not you put it in your hand. All right, but it has to be in one of the 2 hands. You can't just place it onto like the desk or something and lie to me that way. That'd be cheating.
Okay.
So starting the game, this is going to be the first question. Is the coin in your left hand?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, you're good. I'm not too certain, so I'm going to move on to the second question. Is the number that's in your mind odd?
Yes.
Okay, just in case, odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Even are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. If you want to change your answer, that's perfectly fine.
Yes, it's odd.
Okay. Okay, I think I'm getting there. I'm going to ask you one more thing. You are a cat person over a dog person?
I'm a dog person.
Okay, well, it was a yes or no question.
Okay.
So you would have said yes, but that's okay. I think I have a handle on you. I think that you are too good to lie. I think that you are in fact a dog person. I feel like the coin is in fact in your left hand, and I feel like you did not choose to lie to me. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yes.
Now, the fun part is the fact that even with this psychology theme that I have going on here, it wasn't me trying to figure out the game and figure out which coin you had the hand in, but I was actually distracting your conscious thought and trying to seep into your unconscious thought, which is in fact how a lot of hypnosis work. It's distracting the conscious mind and talking directly to the subconscious. And what I think is I think that the number you in fact ended up with was the number 9.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Perfect. And that would be about it for that one.
Awesome. We have a participant getting prepped in our backstage room. They'll be coming in just a second.
All right. I would just need the 1 for this, and that would be perfect. Don't mind me, I'm getting predictions from the future. So I'm going to try this. I think this. I may be wrong, but you know, worth a shot.
Sorry, Wolfy, we're having some tech trouble with our participants, so we're trying to get them ironed out so that we can bring them on and they can be part of the show.
All right, perfect. That's understandable. Now, during this downtime, I actually have a few things I guess I could show. And in that manner would be something that I could actually do if I had people in front of me. Now, one of my favorite things to do is mess around with Rubik's Cubes. If you met me at last year's convention or the year before, you see that I am constantly doing something with these because they are my life at this point. I've actually learned how to do these at a very young age. And something that I found out that was very interesting with this is the fact that if I took it and I just give it a little shake, I could solve it. And that took me quite a long time to figure out how to do. Despite the many years of trying, it wasn't always a 100% guarantee that I could do it. However, if all goes well, I might be able to just get it done that way. Now, it's been quite a while since I've done this, and you don't have to believe me if you don't want to, but I'm actually going to put this underneath my desk, and I'm going to very awkwardly make eye contact with the camera the entire time. and be speaking all the way through this. And hopefully, if this works, which I don't think it's going to, because I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I really have no idea. It has, in fact, been a long time, and I've already screwed up. But that's all right. It happens to the best of us. I have mentioned I have not done it in a while, but that's no excuse. I should be doing this all the time. So that's actually one thing that I do constantly, and that's actually one of my favorite things to do. I like to show people different cubing effects, and I like to have them, because a lot of people can't even believe that I solve it normally, let alone using magic. So it's really fun when people scramble it themselves and still can't believe that when I do it. All right. So I'm informed that my first volunteer outside of Kitsch will be joining us. So if you could allow them in. Hi, Arashi. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Now, were you paying attention to the game that I played with Kitsch at all?
I saw bits and pieces because I had to actually close the stream in the middle to try and get my Zoom to work properly because it kept trying to crash.
All right, that works. I can re-explain the game to you. We're gonna be playing the same game, but we're gonna be doing it just a little differently. Now, do you happen to have a coin or a ring or a small object on hand nearby?
Hello?
All right. What I want you to do is I want you to place that object inside your palm and close your hands around it. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you two questions, and you are either going to lie to me for both questions, or you're going to tell me the truth for both questions. All right?
Hello?
Can you not hear me?
I could for a second because my computer keeps trying to break. Sorry.
It's all right. We shall deal with the punches.
I live in the middle of nowhere, so my internet sucks sometimes.
It's all right. So there are two questions I'm going to ask, and you can either lie to me for both of them, or you could tell me the truth for both of them.
Uh-huh.
All right? Actually, you know what? No, I feel no. We'll stick with that. We'll keep it that way. That's fine. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some proper questions. And what I'm going to do is I want to see if I can catch you out in a lie or I can catch you out in a truth. All right. So I'm going to ask you two questions first that has nothing to do with the game. And the first one, I want you to tell me the truth. And the second one, I want you to lie to me. All right.
Uh-huh.
So for the first question, you are a summer person over a winter person. And I just want you to answer yes or no for any of these questions.
No.
No. Okay. You prefer winter. That's perfectly fine. So, yeah, I say they're questions. They're not. They're more statements, and you either have to confirm or deny them. I feel like that should be the best way of saying it. So for the second question, or statement rather, you are going to lie to me. All right. So again, yes or no. You are more of a fall person than a spring person.
No.
Okay. When I ask you the two questions about the game, I want you to take a second, even when you're telling the truth, so that if you are to tell a lie, it's not to make it too obvious that you're telling one or the other. All right?
Okay.
So you have the coin in one of your hands, correct?
It's cutting out again.
Okay. So the object is in one of your hands, correct?
Okay. What was that? You cut out again because I did it. died for a second. Sorry.
It's all right. Wi-Fi is a wonderful thing. So the coin is in one of your hands. Yeah, I have coin. I can do visual as well as audio. Coin in hand.
Okay.
Let's see here. Now, have you decided on whether you're going to be telling the truth or telling a lie throughout these? Just yes or no. Do not say which one you chose. Okay. So for the first question is the fact of, is the coin in your left hand?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have the freedom of choice here. You can either keep the coin in that hand, whichever one that you truly have it in, or you can switch it. All right, that's up to you. Just let me know when you're done.
Okay.
Now, answer me in the same manner that you answered the first one, that if you lied, then continue to lie to me, or if you told the truth, tell the truth. Did you switch your hands, or switch the coin in your hands?
No.
Okay. So if all goes according to plan, I think I have a good feel on whether you were lying or telling the truth, and if I'm correct, the coin should be currently in your left hand.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, I understand it's very nerve-wracking to join me on stage here, and I understand the shyness with not having your camera on, so I'd like to personally applaud you myself for, throwing your nerves to the wind. It's very upsetting. I get it. It's all right. And I'd like to thank you very much for joining me up here. I hope you have a good one.
You too.
Now there should be a button to leave if you do not mind. Okay, that works too. All right, this show is going swimmingly. That works. You can send in the next few participants and we will get this show rolling. Yes, hello to the both of you. It looks like the both of you are currently muted.
Hi.
Yeah, there we go.
Blinky, you came off for a second and then you went right back muted.
Yes, I have a push to talk on so I don't get any background noise.
All right, that works. Perfect. Now, I was informed that one of you had cards available. Perfect. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go through the cards and I want you to take a look and I want you to get out 4 black cards and 4 red cards. And actually, you know what? And that should work.
Does it matter what they are?
Not physically, no. Just 4 red cards, 4 black cards, and I have my own little makeshift table right here, and I will just lean that down so you can more or less take a look at what's happening.
Okay.
If you could do that as well, that's fine. If not, you just have to listen to my instructions very well.
Okay.
What we are going to do is we are actually going to mix these cards up, and we're going to alternate them. So if you place a black card onto the table, face up, and then place a red card on top of that, and then black, red, black, red, black, red. You have a nice mixed up packet here.
Okay.
So with the cards turned down, I want you to count down 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
Now, of course, if we do that, that's not really gonna mix up the cards all too much. So just place the rest of these on top, and we're going to instead move them off by 2. So you can slide 2 cards over and just place them. Actually, you know what? Do you start with a black card?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I know exactly what I'm doing. I swear. I feel like I've screwed up something, but that's okay. We're gonna start with the red. So move the black card to the bottom, and make sure you have a red on top.
Okay, let me double check just real quick. Okay.
Right. So now with 2 cards, place them face down.
Okay.
Slide off the next 2 cards and just place them on top of those. You can go ahead and check, make sure they're still intermingled, and then place them down, and the last 2 cards can just go right on top of that.
Okay.
Now, if all goes according to plan, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to let you take the reins of magic for a moment. And what I'm going to do is, through the power of the internet and electricity, I'm going to take all of the magic that I have and push it through the camera into you. And what I actually want you to do is, if you can do it up to the camera, I want you to go through the cards and notice how they have changed themselves in your hands. If all goes according to plan. Just spread through the cards and take a look at how they are currently set up.
Okay.
Now, are they still intermingled?
Yes.
Okay, it's all right. I don't know what I'm doing ever, but that's okay. Well, actually, we're gonna shift gears a little bit, only because the fact of, since I screwed up on this, I really want to try to fix it. So take all the black cards out.
Okay.
And what red cards do you have? And I'll mix them up with yours.
I have the 8 of hearts, the 10 of hearts, the 7 of diamonds, and the Queen of hearts.
And I will just place these back. So what I want you to do, and we're going to mix them up in a very strange way, because I want to make sure that nobody knows what the order is. So we're going to slide up a few cards, 1 or 2,
Okay.
and just place them onto the bottom.
All right.
All right. And if you want, you can break off a packet of cards and place them onto the bottom, and we're going to cut the cards like that. Now, this is up to you, that if you feel good, I want you to move 1 card from the top and place it onto the bottom. But if you feel great, I want you to move 2 cards and place them onto the bottom.
Okay.
If you want to give them a little shuffle as well. Perfect. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to just, with the cards together, just pick up the entire pack and just take a glance at the bottom card. Now, I'm
black cards in there, or am I strictly working with the red cards?
With just the red cards. There should be 4 red cards there.
Okay.
So if you, assuming you have a desk in front of you, turn the cards down and put the cards underneath the desk so that you don't see what's happening.
Okay.
And what you're going to do is you're going to take the top card and you're going to turn it face up.
Okay.
You're going to spread through the cards, take one of the middle cards and place them onto the top. Right?
Okay.
What we're going to do is I want you to spread off 2 or 3 cards, place them onto the bottom.
Okay.
Maybe give the cards a cut if you want, maybe 2. We're gonna do the same thing that we just did. If you feel good, push 1 card to the bottom. But if you feel great, 2 cards, put them onto the bottom.
Okay.
And I want you to turn the top card face up.
Okay.
We'll push 2 cards over and place them onto the bottom.
Okay.
And we'll turn the next top card face up.
Okay.
All right. So cover the cards completely with your hands.
Ouch. Okay.
Bring them up to the top so you can actually see what you're doing this time. Now, for the first time, which card did you have?
On top?
The one that you peeked at on the bottom.
The one that I peeked at on the bottom?
Yeah. From the first time that you did it, not now.
The first time that I did it was you want me to tell you what it is?
Yes, please.
It was the 7 of diamonds.
The 7 of diamonds. Go ahead and spread through the cards, and you will see that only one card has turned over.
Damn it.
Which one is that?
7 of diamonds.
All right. What we're going to do, we'll actually place this in numerical order compared to poker order. So place the ace of hearts face up onto the table. And then that's going to be followed by the 7 of diamonds.
I don't have the ace of hearts, honey.
I thought you said the ace of hearts.
No, I have the queen of hearts and the 10 of hearts. And the 8 of hearts.
The 8 of hearts. All right, that's my fault. Okay, that's fine.
It's okay.
It's in here somewhere. There it is. That's all right. They sound very similar. Nobody's gonna fault me for that. So the 7 of diamonds, the 8 of hearts, the 10 of hearts, and then the queen of hearts.
Okay.
And we're gonna play a version of a game that I'm pretty sure everybody has once played, especially as a child, called She Loves Me, She Loves Me Not. Have you ever played that game?
I have not.
Okay. So pretty much this version of it is you're going to take the top card and you're going to say she loves me and place it onto the bottom. And the next one you're going to say she loves me not and place that card onto the table.
Okay.
And then you could do it again until you run out of cards. So
okay.
She loves me, cards go to the bottom, she loves me not onto the table.
Okay.
And then once you get down to your last card, just place that onto the rest of the pack. So now we should be set up perfectly. And we're actually going to mix my cards up a little bit more. So I'm going to either turn my leave the card face down, or I'm going to turn it face up, and that's up to you. So do you want my card to be face up or face down?
Face down.
Face down. Second card.
Face up.
Face up. Third card.
Face down.
Face down. And the last card.
Face up.
Face up. Perfect. Now we are going to do 3 rounds, and what's going to happen is on the first round we're going to move 3 times, on the second we're going to move 2 times, and on the last one we're going to move once. Now what happens is the fact that you have the choice of me moving 3 times, you moving 3 times, me doing it twice, you doing it once, or you doing it twice and me doing it once.
Okay.
So for this, who would you like to go first? You or me?
I'll go first.
Now, how many cards would you like to do?
2.
2. So take the top card, place it onto the bottom.
Okay.
And then take the next card, put it onto the bottom.
Okay.
And there's 2. And now that means I'm going to be doing 1, right?
Yeah.
So I'll do the top card and place it onto the bottom. All clean and fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to take a look at the card that you have.
Okay.
Now, what card do you have in your hand?
7 of diamonds.
The 7 of diamonds. This has worked out wonderfully. I guarantee you that 100% wonderfully. Go ahead and turn it over. And we're going to do it 2 more times. So, your choice, you or me?
You.
You. Me. I know what I'm saying. Would you like me to move once or twice?
Once.
Once. So you go ahead and move once.
Okay.
What card is it that you have on top there?
The 8 of hearts.
8 of hearts. Remember how I said this was going to go perfectly?
Yeah.
It goes perfectly. Nobody has any idea. It's amazing, ain't it? Now, actually, I'm just going to leave the cards like this, all right? So you go ahead and you take a look at the top card that you have there. And just let me know which one it is.
It's the Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Hearts. How amazing would it be if my Queen of Hearts was also on top?
That would be pretty amazing.
It'd be pretty amazing. Okay. kind of hard to see it, especially with all the glare.
I saw it. It was very cool.
And that obviously leaves the 10 of hearts being on the bottom.
Very cool.
All right, so Mrs. Strawberry, I'd like to thank you for your participation. It's always a wonder having your type of personality around.
Thank you for showing me this very, very cool mental. I don't even want to call it a trick because I feel it cheapens it. This is mentalist work at its best. This is really good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of your show now.
Perfect. And that leaves us, Blinky, and I do not need that on here. In fact, I do not need my camera down anymore. Now, we've been messing with cards a lot, and if you do not mind, we're actually going to do something card-related.
Okay.
Now, as a magician, I actually mess around with cards a lot, and I look up a lot of different magic effects. And the problem with that is the fact that there's a very famous company that is known for its playing cards called Theory 11. And I get ads for that a lot, which is the engineer's mathematical computer term for psychology. I'm trying to relate it somehow, in which it is, because if you look at one thing, odds are is you're going to look at it a lot more. But the problem with that is the fact that if you look at something like a bookshelf, you don't need another bookshelf. So you're going to be given 20 different bookshelves after you bought one 4 months ago. And my problem is the fact that if you actually ask Google to name a random card, it will in fact name a random card. And unfortunately, it seems to know me and what I do very well. So what I want you to do is I want you to name out any card. If you know all 52 cards, go ahead and name out any one of them.
The Ace of Clubs.
The Ace of Clubs. Now, the strange thing about it is that if this works, it's going to be strange. Okay, Google, say something. Just want to make sure you guys can hear it.
Sure. How can I help?
Say something else, just making sure.
Wow, I choked. Can you say something?
Were you able to hear that? Was that audible? Okay. So just making sure that nothing. Now I'm going to ask it to select the card. All right. So if this works, it's going to be your card. Can you say what it is one more time?
The Ace of Clubs.
Okay. Can you select a card?
I will select the Ace of Clubs.
Nice.
Like it's disturbing how often that happens. So hopefully you would take more notice of all of the times that you looked at bookshelves recently.
Yeah. I will.
I'd like to thank you for your participation and joining me.
That was nice. Thank you.
There. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. So we should have. Yes, DJ, how are you doing? It looks like you were mute. Oh, not anymore.
All right. I got tech support sitting on my right.
All right, that works for me. We're actually going to do something a little bit more psychology based. And what this is I want you to. Are you an artist of any kind?
I'm a DJ.
One more time? Oh, you're a DJ. Fair enough. You think that would be kind of obvious for me to notice. But are you I want to say a drawing artist of any kind?
No.
But have you ever noticed the fact that there are more simple shapes, like the ones that we learn in grade school, compared to complex shapes?
Yes.
Like, for example, a simple complex shape would be like a smiley face. Although it's a complex shape, it's made out of simple shapes, like a circle, a 2 dots, and a half crescent. What I want you to do is I want you to think of 2 simple shapes, and I want you to put them together and make a more complex shape out of it. So let me know once you've done that.
Okay.
And once you've done that, I want you to actually start painting a scene around this complex shape.
Okay.
Of course, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I probably wouldn't be able to do anything that fancy either. Now it's up to you. I'm gonna try to reveal part of this picture. But it's up to you if you want me to reveal like the top of it, the bottom, center, left, right, like anywhere on this mental picture that you've created. I'm gonna try my best to figure out what it is. So what part of the picture would you like me to try to reveal?
Do the middle.
Do the middle. So this should be more or less what you started with, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. Now, I'm not quite sure if I get this, and if I don't, I hope you all will forgive me. Psychology is way harder when you are nowhere near each other. So hopefully this works. I'm gonna do my best to keep it in frame so you don't think that I'm switching it out for anything. Now, do me a favor and name what it is that you were actually thinking of.
A square and a triangle in grass.
So, a house then.
Pretty close.
I'll bring that a little closer. So, as I was informed, I'm actually going to try to see if I can pick things up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I want you to think of a 2-digit number and keep it in your mind. And let's say like 89. Well, don't go for like 8 or 9. I don't want you to think I'm influencing you or anything. But for example, if it was 89, I want you to spell the spell of the numbers out in your mind. So 89 would be EIGHTY NINE. All right. So if you have that in your mind, I want you to gravitate to the first letter of the 2 words, the first letter, and think of the first male name that pops into your mind. Now, I don't want it to be like a unisex name like Tony or Terry, but something like Sean will be fine.
Okay.
So to start this off, can you think of a day of a week that starts with this letter? Yeah, okay. But we're not going to do days of the week. That'd be kind of obvious. There's only 7, so we're going to try to do names. So I don't think it's that or that. How many letters are in this name? Like 3, 4?
The 6.
6 names. Okay. Is this in the most simplistic form of this name?
No.
No. Could you simplify it for me and maybe a little easier?
3.
3. Okay. That'd be a little easier to do for me. I'm thinking I may get this wrong. How would you describe this person? You don't have to have known somebody with this name, but how would you describe them if you have?
Hardworking, everyday guy.
Okay. You didn't go for something like Tom, did you? Tom or Tim?
Tom, exactly.
Tom, perfect. All right. Now we're going to do one more thing, and I want you to keep... we're actually going to change the numbers real quick, and I want to show you that it's actually not that hard to do this. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to have you reveal my PIN code. However, you're new at this, so if you want, I can give you some tips or I guess hints at what my PIN code would be, if you would like.
Okay.
So it is a 4-digit PIN code. The first number is an odd number that's higher than a 3. And, make it just a little simpler. The second number is 2 higher than the first one. All right?
Okay.
So let me know once you have an idea of what you think the first 2 numbers are.
I got 2 wrote down.
Okay. Now for the third number, compared to the second number, do you think it's higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower. By how many?
3.
3. Okay. Now for the fourth number, do you think it's higher or lower?
Higher.
By how many?
5.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do is actually off camera, I'm going to write down my PIN code. And I'm going to keep it off screen just for a little bit, just so I can cap the marker and put it down. Now I have my PIN code written out here. Now you didn't happen to go for something like 7, did you?
Yeah, there's 7 in there.
Okay, but it's not the first number, right?
Not the first number.
Can you please read to me the 4 numbers that you have?
5, 7, 4, 9.
Perfect. Not bad for a first try, huh?
No.
We're actually, we're gonna move on to one other person, but I'd like to thank you so much for your participation.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me.
Wonderful having you. Should be having one more person join us for the ending here. Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, doing very well. How are you doing today? So
I am wonderful. Thank you for asking. Now I have to ask, is it Alon or Alan?
it's Alon.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I heard other people pronouncing it. Some people get upset. I get my actual name, I get pronounced as Dylan quite a lot, and I'm used to it by now, but it may upset some people.
I respond pretty well to both ways, whether they're, because I'm just kind of used to it. But yes, it's Alon. So it's
Right.
got that little long O going on.
Do you happen to have a phone on you?
I do actually. I mean, in this day and age, doesn't everyone? So it's.
Yeah, but you have to learn mental math because you're never going to have a calculator on you every day.
Oh, I'm pretty decent at mental math, so it's.
Well, we're going to use the calculator. Not that I doubt you or anything, but we're going to try to get some big numbers out there.
Okay. Mhm.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to get pick a number between 1 and 10. Any number you like, and say it out loud for me, please.
We'll go with 7.
7. So you were one of the people that the beginning shirt worked on then, didn't it?
Potentially, so it's.
Okay, so we'll do 7, and I want you to multiply that by, let's multiply it by 21.
Okay, so 147 we got. Mhm.
Now, I don't want you to say what it is from here on out, because I want this to be a number that's unique to you. And let's multiply it by, we'll add the 2 numbers together. We'll multiply by 27. Let's do that. So
Okay.
how many digits do we have?
We're at 4 digits, so it's.
Now, do you want to make it easy for me, hard for me, or incredibly hard for me?
Let's go with hard for you. So.
Hard for me. Okay, so I want you to multiply whatever number you have there by 2 digits. Number that I have no idea and no control over. And I want you to pick one number out of the ones that you have, and hopefully you should have 6.
I do have 6 digits.
So pick one of them and keep it to yourself. Make sure it's not like a 0 or a 9, because that would be a little too obvious.
Okay.
And I want you to read out the other 5 numbers, keeping the one number that you chose a secret. And I want you
Okay.
to read them out one by one to me.
73086.
Okay. Now, hopefully this works, and it may not. You went for a lower number, right? Lower than 5?
What do you mean lower than 5?
Like the number that you kept secret.
That is correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 6, 7, 8, and 9 are out of there, and I'm working on 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think you didn't go for 1 or 0. Would that be correct?
That would be correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's either 3 or 4. Just say the two of them back and forth a couple times, like 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4.
3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4.
Okay. It sounded like 4 went off the tongue just a little bit easier than 3, and I think you're maybe trying to throw me off. I think you went for a 3. Would that be correct?
Oh, that would be correct, actually. Yes. So it's
perfect.
There.
Ooh, perfect. I have one last thing that I actually have time for, so I want you to clear that out. And
okay, cleared out. Mm-hmm.
I want you to think of the day you were born, the numerical number.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I want you to multiply that by 2.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And for that, I want you to add the numerical value of your month. So January would be 1, February would be 2, so on and so forth.
Okay. Hold on a second. Okay.
So it would be your date times 2 plus the month. And we have this final number. This is going to be your numerology number that you can keep with you for your entire life because it's made from your birthday. Do me a favor and name what number you had left. Or what number you have now, sorry.
What number I have there? It is 23.
23, okay. You don't happen to know your zodiac sign, do you?
I do, yes.
All right. I want you to scramble up the letters because it's a lot easier to think from one thing to the next than think of things in order. If that makes any sense, because our minds are always running rampant all over the place. I may be getting the letters mixed up anyway, so just to make things easier for you to transmit. I'm gonna go with my gut and say there's an R in there.
That'd be a good guess. So it's
followed by an A. Well, not followed by, but like there's an A in there. I mean,
there's not. No
there's
A.
not an A. Okay. Okay. In order. So in the correct order. Where's the R? Is it in the third or?
It's a third letter.
It's the third letter. Okay. Okay. This should work. Hopefully. It may not. My thoughts may be wrong just a little bit. Okay. So you said the number was what, 23, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that you are a Virgo.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that would be correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you were born July 8th?
No.
No.
It would be September 7th.
September 7th. I got the numbers mixed up, but no, that went really well. It's nice knowing just a little bit more about you. I'd like to thank you for joining me here.
Hey, you're quite welcome, Wolfy. It's a pleasure that I can be here. So thank you for hosting as well too.
Yep. So I would like to thank each and every one of you who actually stuck through the entire hour, and I'd like to thank all of you that mustered through the nerves and came up here because it is really a nerve-wracking type thing. So I'd like to thank all of Megaplex to help allow me to be here and all the backstage guys, they are extremely well coordinated as far as I'm concerned, and I'd like to thank each one of them as well. And I hope you guys have a toontastic day.